Yeah, we bought some stuff.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? I'm
Yo.
Nick.
Yeah, Mike.
And we are the Brothers Murph,
Yeah.
and this is a little video going over our Gen Con haul.
Can we make little videos?
No, this is probably going to be a long video.
This is a standard video.
This is a normal video. Where, this little ditty right here. We're going to go over the things we got at Gen Con. We went in there being like, yeah, we're only going to get like 1 or 2 games.
Famous last words. Not really trying to buy much.
And we didn't. We got a whole bunch of stuff.
To be fair, some of it was gifts.
That's true. Some was gifts, and there were very, very kind people on Twitch who gave us money to specifically buy games and stuff like that. And yeah, and so we're gonna go through game by game and just kind of show what we got. And we're not gonna go too much into them. We've played actually most of them.
Almost all of them.
Which is kind of astonishing considering Gen Con, there's like no time to play games, but we sat down a few times and we were able to knock out a bunch of them. So most things we've played, some of it's new Gen Con stuff, some's like older stuff we just happened to get at Gen Con.
Because we wanted it.
And yeah, so let's go ahead and start then, huh?
What's the first game, Nick?
I don't know. What is
I don't know. Well,
Grab it.
I'll grab this.
Grab it.
Boom!
Wendake.
Wendake by Renegade Games.
Indeed.
This is a game, this is like an area control resource management game with a very interesting action selection system, which is fun to say, that is all centered around Native American tribes and culture and like their way of living, which is radical.
It's really cool, and it's done very well and done very respectfully. We talked to people at Renegade specifically about it because we saw the theme and the fact that they seem to be taking it seriously. It's not just like slapped on. We were like, oh, I'm interested in this game just for the theme, and then the game looked cool, and we decided to get it. We talked to Renegade and the woman we were talking to was like, yeah, they like went really, and they asked one of the companies, I think.
The owner's son.
The owner's son has been dating a Native American woman for a long time, and they even asked her and said, like, hey, we know this isn't your tribe, but, like, how is this...
Does this come off like we're appropriating cultures? Does this come off, insensitive in any way?
Yeah, respectful and da-da-da. And
they cared to, like, know.
Yeah, and then they had, like, a whole consultant on it, and there's a whole section in the back of the book just about Wendake culture and stuff like that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the game is dope.
It's really cool. It has this like 3x3 grid, like tic-tac-toe, where you select your actions and you have to make a line, tic-tac-toe style, either diagonal, straight, or straight, and then everything slides down, and if you use actions last turn, they get flipped over, so they can't be used until they slide down and refresh, and then you get new actions in there. It's just this fascinating thing.
So the whole thing slides down, the bottom row comes off your little board, and then you can buy a new action tile that are better, and then you shuffle them up and put them back on top, and they slide down. And it's very interesting.
Never seen something like that. So you get all this like weird... you're trying to get the actions you need, but also you're like, oh, but I don't want these to be gone for 3 turns. So, it's just like something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So it's
super
a great
good,
game, and obviously more representation is better. We care about that. I was talking to Suzanne and Mandy about it, and Mandy was just like, yes, thank you, I'm going to buy it just for the, the thing. And I was like, is there half a game behind it? And Suzanne was saying like, yeah, it's actually good.
Yeah.
And talked about that action selection system. So that's Wendake. Really happy to have just a different culture represented. Thank God. Finally. So you'll see us playing this real soon.
Yes, indeed. Next one up we got was probably the most request game. This is... Oh, that would have been so cool. Sorry. This is Everdell. Everdell is the deluxe version, so it comes in this sleeve.
That's deluxe as hell.
It's cool. So this is Everdell. Everdell was... We did a Twitch Gen Con preview, and we asked, like, hey, what do you want us to buy? Yeah, you can watch it. It's up on our YouTube or on our Twitch.
If you say, hey, buy this, it's too late. I mean, we could buy it, but not at Gen Con. Just win it.
So this was probably the most requested thing. This is another game that's going to come up next. But probably the most requested thing. So Everdell is a really great, beautiful game. It's tableau building and worker placement, and kind of engine building actually, because you get your woodland critters and this big giant 3D tree, and you're putting out your workers and getting these cards. And these cards are either constructions like buildings, or they're critters. And constructions go with critters and stuff, and then you start they combo a lot. You get like if you have one of these, you get an extra one of these, and and there's a ton of cards in it. And we played it. When we first started playing it, it starts off kind of weird in terms of it's a little confusing.
You don't have much you can do, and you're like, what should I do right now? And
yeah, and the rulebook could be a little more concise about certain things. One thing is like it says the game ends when everyone runs out of actions. And I'm just like, what does that mean? Yeah. Like, but ultimately the game works just fine. It's just kind of confusing to get into.
It's this cool thing of like, you basically play through 4 rounds. And you start off in kind of like late winter, and then you go into spring, summer, and autumn. Yeah. And you're preparing for the next winter, essentially, And I might, depending on how I have my resources and stuff, because you're using resources to buy cards and craft things and then get more resources, and then sometimes you're using your workers. You only have so many workers per season, but it might be that I can do like 3 or 4 cards before using my next worker. Nick, meanwhile, blows through both his workers and goes right into spring. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, Nick can be in spring while I'm still in winter, and then he can go into summer, and I'm just getting to spring. Yeah, totally. And so it's like, not everyone's going to end the game at the same time, necessarily. It's not like there's an hour between, but it was just like, again, like, that's different.
Yeah, it's a great little game. It's probably like medium weight, but on the lighter side of medium.
It's lighter than you would
so this is a great gateway, not necessarily gateway, but like kind of early on game for people because it's so pretty, but on top of that, it's pretty simple. And it's just a very interesting, cool game. And it was very fun. We were really aching to try it again. All these games that we've played, we only played once because, for the most part, because we didn't have time. But we got a shocking amount of them actually played. Yeah. So that is Everdell. Everdell is really, really great. Again, everything on here you'll be seeing us play very, very soon.
Oh, yes.
This is probably also going to be my next You Can Solo that it's probably going to come out next week. Boom. But I really want to try out the solo variant for this right here.
Oh, yeah. That was worth getting the
sleeve
collection
back on.
Edition.
Oh! All right.
So woodland creatures and just generally anthropomorphized animals was like the thing
That was
this year.
the thing this year.
There are so many games, of which we got a couple, including the top of the hotness, Root.
Root was the top of the hotness in terms of
Root's all about it's a woodland. It's a game of woodland might and right, and it's about politics and war and stuff. But it's with little woodland critters again. Woodland critters and rolling rights. That's what the shit was about, man.
Yeah, seriously though.
And then humongous minis.
Yeah, exactly. And then you hit Seabon and Fantasy Flight.
Indeed. So Root is a very asymmetrical game. Mm-hmm. And there are 4 factions you can play as. There's the Marquita Cat. There's the Erie Dynasties or something. They're the Eagle people. There's the Alliance, and then the Vagabond. And they all play very differently.
100%, yeah.
In terms of like what you do on your turn, they all have different ways of getting to ultimately 30 points to win. They have very different ways that you accomplish this. So it's completely asymmetrical. This is the same company, Leader Games, that made Vast, which is a really asymmetrical game.
Yes, very.
Vast, people really love. It's one of those things that it was like one of the first times people did the whole asymmetry thing. And unfortunately, if you played this one type of character and then you go to another one, you're starting the game over again afresh.
Yes.
And Vast can be kind of heavy and stuff, and so it's a lot of work. And with Root, what they wanted to do was they wanted to make the game more accessible.
Yes.
It goes further into the asymmetry, but it also makes it better because everyone ultimately wants to get to 30 points.
Yes.
So that's a little more general.
Yes.
It's just how you get there that's different. And the cool thing is it makes it so that if we're playing a 2-player game, we can play any combination of the factions. They suggest one.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it. Whereas in Vast, you had to play at these player counts, these people.
Yes, if you're playing, like if you're playing 2, you have to play the dragon and the knight, because the knight's job is to kill the dragon's job is to get out of the cave. If you're playing 3 players, you have to play the knight, the dragon, and the goblins, because the goblin's job is to kill the knight's job is to kill the dragon's job. And it's like you have to play this. You don't. Yeah. And it's they specifically, and there's a whole like player guide to get into the game.
There's a walkthrough that takes you through a couple turns so you can start to see how they work
and see why you want to do some of the things you want to do. Because again, you set up the board, and it's like we played it once, and I was the cats and he was the birds, and it's already way different because my cats are all over the board. His birds start in a little corner, and I mean our player boards, and you'll see this. at this point we'll have played this on Twitch.
You'll be able to watch the playthrough.
But it's very, very different, and I'm very excited to explore it more. I'm very excited to get more players in it. I think it's an expansion where you can make it solo and stuff. You're playing against like mechanical cats.
You can play like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very cool. We really, really liked it a lot. And really, this is one of the ones where I'm like, man, I want to play. I just want to explore.
Yeah, the different people. Yeah, because it's just like the Marquita cats, like
they're so different.
They've kind of taken over the forest, and they just like want to build up this industrial like powerhouse.
Yeah.
And the birds are like they used to rule the woods, and they're trying to like reclaim their glory. Yeah. Then the Alliance is trying to like bring up the people and like get sympathy, so they're trying to like rise up. Yeah. And the Vagabond is just like in the woods, just like helping certain people, stabbing other people, and just like doing random stuff. So it's like just really interesting, awesome. And it's all in the woods with really cool art. So that is Root. Get right down to the root.
What you got over there?
What I got over here, man? I'm hungry, man.
Kitchen. I'm so
strong, dude.
I'm very hungry.
Here's the thing.
So we filmed for you, even though we're
starving. I could eat Panera again.
Really?
I could. I get one of them scones.
I'm cool. Kind of cool.
We ate a lot of Panera this week, guys.
It was just a very convenient place to have breakfast, and we ate a lot. Well, I'm pretty freaking over.
It was our escape from the commune. Like, go eat at Panera and then come back in. So Kitchen Rush. It's fitting to talk about. This is a Stronghold. I don't want to say Stonemaier. Stronghold game. All about, it's a co-op working in a kitchen. And it's so fun because it has this whole real-time aspect to it. You play 4 rounds that are 4 minutes.
Yes.
And your workers, your employees, are sand timers.
Yeah.
So to use them, you have to flip over the sand timer, and they have to be on that space for at least, I think it's 30 seconds. And you can do the action continually. And you can continue to do it after the time is run out, but it's really about your time management and communication.
Yeah, it really is. Because you go here to get some spices, but getting spices only takes a few seconds. So then you have to like go over here and do this, but sometimes you're just like waiting for because you can't move your person until the sand timer comes out. You're just like,
you're cooking some food. And you're like,
it's just like, and you're trying to cook. You have to cook. You have to make certain dishes. And you have to have certain ingredients, certain spices, and they have to be cooked a certain amount, either 0 to 4. So if it's a salad, it might be like 0, but if it's like a lasagna, it's going to be 3. Sorry,
4
yeah.
times.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, and you got it, and you can't mess up the order. If you mess up the order, once you put stuff on your plate, they're going to send it back, and you're going to get negative points. And
if
it's
you actually
just
drop
like
1 extra carrot on there, you're host.
Oh my
gosh. Take it off.
And it's fun. We played the easy version, and we beat it, but it was hard. And then there's like, and the cool thing is there's tons of there's like 3 or 4 different versions for like normal, 3 or 4 different versions for hard,
different,
and there's one for very
victory
difficult
conditions. Yeah, that you're going for.
Yeah, different victory stuff you're going for, and there's all these events you can throw in there which make the game harder, and it's just like it was so weird in the best way. It was such it's a co-op worker placement game which don't exist.
Yeah,
and then 2, it's like the timers and the aspect of just like going here, and you constantly have to communicate, and it's these 4-minute stretches, which is long, but not that long.
Not as long as you think.
And you're just, we need plates. Someone do some dishes, damn it. We need some plates. And you're going down doing dishes, get plates back up there. It feels like kind of like a miniature kitchen in a game. Like it's just that kind of what I assume. I've never worked in a kitchen, but what I assume working in a kitchen is kind of like. I feel like
it's
this
about
game,
efficiency, you know?
Yeah, and it's very fun. Very fun.
We got so much better as we played. I'm like, I realized I can go shopping and get some stuff while your worker's already in the storage area. So I put him in the storage area. Now you don't have to flip your timer because it's already out. You're going to grab your stuff, put it down, then move your worker. It's all about communication and efficiency in the kitchen. And it's tough, man. That 4 minutes goes quick.
It's tough.
It goes fast, man.
I'm curious. We've only played it 2. We only played it once. We only played it 2, but I'm curious like 4. If it just gets bananas, because there's so many people trying to like talk and like
too many cooks in the kitchen, man.
I know. This was cool. I was very good, great game. You've been really wanting to try this. Bad. I was very interested, but he was like, I want your kitchen.
At Dinosaur Con, they had it. You could buy it, of course, but they didn't have it in the library. It was only demo.
Yeah.
And every time I kind of got around to the exhibition hall, it was just too late, and people had lined up, and everyone's like, "Damn it, I really want to play this game."
Yeah.
Like, the sand timers was fascinating to me.
Yeah,
it's
so a good idea.
Cool. The game is like really fun on top of just the gimmick of the sand timers. For Stronghold, pretty good components.
For Stronghold, it's a great.
Shite player boards as always, but like ultimately
the thinnest card stock you can possibly have.
You don't really need to do much on it, so it doesn't matter. It's the principle. But other than that, the components are pretty damn good for Stronghold. So please, this is the weakest it should possibly be. It should only be better if your game costs $70. But that is Kitchen Rush, and it's really
Kitchen
fun.
Rush, really good. So those were kind of like the bigger games, big flashy games that we got. So now we got a whole bunch of other stuff as you saw in the beginning thing. So we're going to start going to
We still got some hot stuff. It's just
some of the
physically
smaller
smaller.
stuff. So we have been building a relationship with Yellow, and they were very, very nice. They gave us a little goodie bag. In that goodie bag was Raids. Raids is a game by Yellow. You can see it's still in the shrink. We have not opened this, but we didn't have time to play it. I have no idea what this is. I don't know.
Navigating foreign lands, you're trying to improve your longship. It's a Viking game. You're amassing piles of gold and battle terrible monsters to bring glory to your name, Nick.
Okay.
You set sail in your longship on 4 epic voyages in search of glory.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know much about it, honestly, but the back of the box looks cool.
Yeah.
We don't know much about it, but we're going to play it, and thank you, Yellow, for
Absolutely. It looks, I mean, art-wise and everything, like, looks really
it's pretty, Yellow. Always looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a little goodie bag, and the other thing that was in the goodie bag was a game called The Legend of the Cherry Tree That Blossoms Every 10 Years.
Tight title.
Here's the thing. Honestly, I know you kind of talk crap about it. I kind of like the title. I'm not going to lie.
I love it. I love it, but I just also at the same time, like,
long.
I love the balls. They just have a long ass.
For this small of a box, the Legend of the
only
Cherry
reason
Tree.
this box is this big is because they had to fit the title on it, and it's like a very beautiful cherry tree on there too.
It is. It's yellow. It's great. So this is a game when we did our Gen Con preview, we looked at because we saw the name and I saw the art and I was like, ooh, let's look at this real quick. And we looked at it and it's a little push your luck game where you're drawing flowers out of a bag, and we were both kind of like, all right.
I didn't know right away that it was a press your luck game.
Yeah, I wanted it to be something else, I think. And I was a little and then they gave it to us, and so we were like, and I was kind of like, okay. And then we played it, and I read the rule book, and I was kind of like, all right. Like, I was just like, okay, this might be okay. And then we played it, and it was really fun. Yeah. Like, it's a great little push your luck game.
Simple. I think the fact that it is a press your luck aspect, or there's a press your luck aspect to it, rather, it really makes the game. So there's this bag that has flower petals, and the whole story is that every 10 years, these trees come to life with amazing blooms, and the petals fall to the ground, and people race to collect all the petals. And so there's 6 colors, and they're all in this bag, and you're trying to pull out different combinations of them, and there's a whole thing of like, you want to grab as many petals as you can, but you don't want to be greedy. So you have this problem where if you get 3 of the same color, you basically bust.
Yeah.
And you lose most of what you tried to pick up. You get to keep a couple things. And if you get 5 individual colors, you bust. And you can get up to 8, and you can pull from the bag 3 times.
Never.
So it's like, how many do I pull out? And there's these, the black petals are like wilds, which is cool, but also it can make you bust.
Yeah.
And so we, of course, me, I'm like, I'm minimum pull of 4.
Yeah.
That would just blow up every time.
Pretty much, yeah. But then there's a weird point system where you have a little
sort
screen.
Set collection-y.
Yeah, it is set collection. You have a little screen, and behind your screen you have flowers in secret, and in front of your screen you have flowers out for display. And you get different points depending on what configuration you have and all this kind of stuff. And it's very, very interesting. There's some power cards, so you can do kind of like little things and manipulate things a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a very light filler, push your luck game. But it's really,
minutes.
really great. I mean, honestly, I was astonished at how much we like this.
Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty. It's light. It's fillery. I mean, for the short length of game, like the press your luck is good enough, and you're inclined to press your luck because there's 3 little powers if you manage to get like 2 pairs or 5 uniques or 4 uniques rather. So you want to push it to get the extra power, but it blows up in your face every time.
Always.
But that is the legend of the cherry tree that blossoms every 10 years.
10 years.
Bam.
Great. What is next, Mike? Should we do a bunch of small stuff?
Brig included. Well, here's the thing, guys. Clank. Gotta happen.
We love it. I know.
I was like, so this is Clank Expeditions Gold and Silk. It's a map with some tokens. There's no cards. It does come with like little dwarf meeples.
Which
and
is cool.
Spider Queen. Now you have the Spider Queen. And at first I was like, really? You're just doing a map, and like maybe I don't need any more Clank.
I don't mind. You can just do new maps.
Kind of clanked out or whatever. But the whole thing was like Clank Expeditions, and they're like, if you have the insatiable thirst for plunder, Clank Expeditions is for you, a series of boards to continue your deck building adventures. Mm-hmm. The first expedition begins in a mine abandoned by the ruined Dwarven mining company, Ruin DMC. Love it. When it became infested with monsters, but still holds plenty of gold for those daring enough to enter. And there's a Spider Queen's lair and stuff. But this makes me feel like they're at the beginning of something
new. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe we'll think about it. And then we were buying Wendake, and this was $16.
It's cheap. That's the thing. It's cheap.
And I was just like, I'm gonna buy it for $16.
Well, see,
Come
that's
on,
the
man.
thing. Even if it was $20, we probably wouldn't have done it. For $16, you're like, honestly, for Clank, just give me new boards. I don't even care. The new cards are
we
great.
honestly do have enough cards.
But like, I'll just take new boards. We're gonna have 4. Yeah, we're gonna have 4 double-sided boards. Like, obviously, keep making them. We'll probably keep buying them.
Yeah, and I think there's something with like the way the Spider Queen's lair works. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But I mean, $16. I'm like, it's gonna happen. That was price to sell, baby. Capitalism works. Proof.
That's right. All right, so now we got some small stuff, some kind of small stuff, some weird stuff.
Smallish.
One is this thing right here. What's this called, Mike?
It's called Palm Island.
Palm Island. We got this.
Hey man,
game.
you know what? From ages 14 to 17, I was on Palm Island all day, baby.
That was great. Palm Island is a game. It comes. There's 2 different versions, like the deluxe version, which is like $2 more, or the normal version. They didn't even have the normal
Deluxe
version.
version is the only one to get.
The deluxe version, one, because it comes in this, which is great.
Which is waterproof and floatable.
Because this is waterproof and floatable.
And you can put on your neck.
And you get all these cards, which are plastic cards, which are also waterproof, so you can play this in a hot tub. And the whole reason why...
Which is gonna happen.
Oh, for sure. The whole reason why you were like, oh, why would I play in a hot tub? And the reason you're like, this is a card game. Don't I need a table, Mike?
You know what, Nick? In most cases you would. But Palm Island is great because you can play the entire game in your hands.
That's the whole point of the game.
You don't even need to be sitting down to play this game.
You could sit down. Actually, I think it'd be harder on a table because you're constantly having to put stuff behind stuff and stuff.
Yeah, it's better. It's easier to do in your hand. It has this great system where all you're doing with these cards, you're going through a deck of 17 cards, and you're storing things by putting them sideways, and then you can use your resources. If you store them sideways, they have things like wood, fish, or stone, the 3 types of resources. And then if you get a new card and you want to upgrade it or something, you can turn resources back this way in the place that they were in your hand, and then rotate a card or flip a card and put it in the back, and you just go through your deck to get better cards. And that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
It's super simple, and you can do it in your hands. You can be like standing and playing in line. We played like 3 or 4 games on
the
a plane.
plane. It was awesome.
It's awesome. You can play it solo and just try to basically get the best score you can. You can add feats to it to make your life a little more difficult. You can play competitively, where we start with the same deck in the same order, and it's like who can play their deck more efficiently and get a higher score. Or you can play cooperatively, where a hurricane's coming in, you have to amass a certain amount of resources to prepare for the hurricane, and now we're working together to pool our resources.
Exactly. There's also speed competitive, which is for like really experienced players. There's also like villagers you can add in. This game, there's not that much to it, and it's like there is a ton of stuff in this game. And it's like, again, like Suzanne posted about it on Twitter, I think yesterday. She was talking about it, Palm Island, yeah. And I was just like, seriously though, because there's like, it's solo, competitive, cooperative. There's multiple competitive ones. There's like different little variants and stuff you can put in. It's got a little string. You can be sitting on the beach, sitting there playing in the water and stuff. I mean, it's really, and it's a really fun game. Like, we played it a bunch of times. We played it a bunch of times cooperative, a bunch of times competitive. It was super fun. And the fact that I can play this in a tub, dude, is everything I've always wanted out of board games. So this was like $20. This was a freaking jam. Yeah. Honestly, if you're ever, or if you're going on car trips, you obviously can't play if you're driving, but you can just sit in the car and sit there and play. If you go to like Disneyland offer or some amusement park, you want a game to play in line. It's only 2 players, but you can just get a couple copies of it and play more, or just play, whatever. It's like, this is a dope game. If you want a really mobile game that's cool that you don't need a board for, Palm Island is where it's at. This is a cool little game.
Yeah, it's, I mean, a great little game based around the gimmick of just you don't need a table.
Yeah.
And like they did a great job of advertising this because it was on billboards. They had little things on the ground to remind you what booth they were in, and it totally worked because we kept seeing reminders like, oh yeah, Palm Island, we should go check that out. And we checked it out, and we're like, it's $20 for the upgraded deluxe edition with the plastic cards, which of course, like, buy that no matter what.
Of course.
And I'm like, dude, we've already gotten so much mileage out of that game.
Yeah,
like,
we already really have. and it's funny, on their booth, they had a big fishbowl full of water, and they literally just had this thing just sitting inside of it.
Prove that it works.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it, man. They're awesome, and they're people there were cool.
They were cool too, yeah.
Because like they had this whole thing of like if you listen to 2 demos, you get like $2 or $3 off.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like waiting to hear about Palm Island. This lady was talking about one of the other games, and she took us through Palm Island. She's just like, "Oh, you kind of heard me talk about that. You listened to 2 demos. You're $2 off."
She's awesome.
So it just dropped the price down by $2, which made the deluxe edition the same price as the regular.
Yeah.
And it's just like a cool little thing to do that like it doesn't hurt them at all, and it goes a long way to us. Like,
yeah, that's a great little game. It's cheap. If you find it, pick it up. It's fun.
It's fun.
So now we got one of our main goals this year was to get some roll-and rights.
Yes.
Because we played Metro X, and you played Let's Make a Bus Route at Dice Tower Con. We really like Metro X, and we were like, these are great little...
Played a butt ton of Gumshoe
really
Clever.
Yeah.
On my phone.
These are really thinky, but ultimately
Puzzly.
pretty simple games that also, especially like Metro X, you can play with literally infinite amount of people. We played like a 50-person game, maybe not 50, maybe like 40-person game at our meetup that we had. It was awesome with Metro X. So we got 2 roll and write games, 2 of the hot ones. We got, by Simon, we got Railroad Inc.
Boom, INK.
Yes, indeed,
Get
because
it?
you're
Drawing stuff.
What's Railroad Inc., Mike?
Railroad Inc. is a roll and write, Nick.
Cool.
It's a roll and write where you're building a system of highways and railroads to try to connect different exits. There's 3, 6, 9, 12 exits, and you're trying to build a network where hopefully you can connect all these exits, but they're all connected via different highways and railroads and stations and things like that. So you're going to roll out dice, which will show like you have to put 1 straight railroad track, 1 curved highway track, an overpass where the railroad and the highway goes over it, and a station where it goes from a highway and turns into a railroad, which continues their network and stuff like that. And then you just choose where to draw on your board, where you're going to draw your little routes and stuff. And you get to draw little highways and little railroads, and you're just ultimately trying to build this awesome little network. And you play through 7 rounds, and it becomes very puzzly.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make sure that you don't block yourself off. Because if you have like a highway that ends up stopping before it gets to an exit, it counts against you at the end of the game.
Yep.
There's 2 little expansions, Rivers and Lakes, which add like you're trying to build a river in the middle of your thing, or you're trying to build a lake with ferries and stuff, which are super difficult.
It's hard enough as it is. When you add the rivers and the lakes, we played this like, gosh, how many times we played on the plane ride home yesterday?
4 or 5.
Probably 4 or 5 times on the plane ride home. It's super fun.
Yeah.
And again, it's small. We played it like 3 or 4 times with normal, and it's hard. And then we played once with rivers and then once with lakes, and it like destroyed us. Like it was
difficult.
so bad.
Yeah, and the cool thing is we didn't end up getting it. Now I kind of wish we had. They have Railroad Inc. Deep Blue Edition and then Blazing Red Edition. Blazing Red comes with 2 little expansions as well.
Yeah.
And then you can combine them to play up to 12 players. You can play 6 just with this one. But they're both $20, and it's like super fun. You just got your little dry erase board, and you're making your little route and everything, and it gets complicated.
Yeah,
it really does.
Super
fun
fun
little
though.
rolling right.
So the other one, right? This one is hot, fuego. This one is called Welcome to.
Welcome to this rolling right without dice.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome to by Deepwater Games, and this is a great little roll and write where you are, as you can see, you're building a little neighborhood. I love roll and writes. They always have weird themes like that. Just like you're building a neighborhood, you're building the bus route. I just love them.
Yeah.
So you're building a neighborhood. You're trying to build the ideal neighborhood, and
It's like the 50s for the baby boomers.
yeah, exactly. So it's like these suburbs, and you're essentially you're writing addresses on these different houses, and the addresses have to go in ascending order. So you have to
You're
go
building
like
a
1,
street.
then 2, then 3. Now you don't always have to go like 1, 2, 3. You can go like 2 and then 4, but they just always have to be in ascending order.
Yeah.
But the cards only go 1 to 15. This is actually, I guess, a draw and write because like drawing cards,
you're
there's no
drawing
dice
right.
in it. But nonetheless, roll and write is the genre. And you are getting these different houses, and you're getting the addresses on them, but there's all these different, essentially, actions or powers that go along with each card. There's 6 of them, and they do different stuff. There's one where you're putting in fences, so you're blocking off houses. So like this is a little group of houses, and this is a bigger group of houses.
Call them estates, but
yeah,
it's just
they're
like
called
4 houses
estates.
in a row. And
you're doing that because there's little schematics. So if you have an estate, a number, like a 2-house estate, a 2-house estate, and then a 5-house estate, you can get a certain amount of points. So you want to do it for that. And I'm not going to go into all the scoring, but there's a whole bunch of different ways to score. There's like pools and parks and all this kind of stuff. And it is super good and just so hard. Like, it is just...
It gets so tricky with putting the addresses in.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and if you ultimately can't put in an address 3 times, you can't legally play, it ends the game. That usually is how the game ends.
I would never finish the entire thing.
It gets so tricky.
But this is a great little roll ride. This is one of those, like Railroad Ink is tough because it's dry erase, so you can only have 6 in a box. But this one is just pencils and paper essentially on the little thing. So you can, it's one of these like, did they have the whole... Yeah, 1 to 100 people is what it plays.
And you literally could.
And we're actually going to be working, or we're going to try to work with Deepwater Games and see if they're down to let us stream this. We want to start doing, like interactive streams where we have like roll and writes and play. We did it on our meetup and it worked really well. And we want to, we have some ideas and stuff. But this is a really, really great game. It's super fun.
I want to try to like set a record, world record
of how
most people play in a roll and write at once.
Cool. That'd be cool. But this is a great little roll and write. We got 2. We've already played this one a ton of times.
Love it.
And we played Railroad Ink a ton of times. They're great. And they're
damned playable, man.
They're gonna get played a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's welcome too.
That was welcome too. So now we can go into some stuff that we got there that's not it's not new, but we got it at Gen Con.
Yeah, new to us, man.
At our meetup group, we did it at a game store called Moonshot Games, who were immensely nice to us and such cool, wonderful people. So we wanted to support there, so we bought Skull there.
Skull is Liar's Dice with skulls and flowers. It plays 3 to 6, and you have you put stuff in the middle, and you either put down things with flowers or skulls on there. Then you start to bid on how many tiles can I overturn before I reveal a skull.
Yeah.
And so it's just seeing who's got the bigger one, and then ultimately you fail. And so yeah, it's just Liar's Dice, but way prettier and with these awesome tiles.
Yeah, it's great. We love it. We've played it before, like it a lot. And so Skull is not new, but we got Skull. So I'm very excited about Skull. We also got Arboretum, which is a game you've really wanted to start playing, or at least trying to play.
Just look at the frickin' jacaranda on the front there,
very
man.
gorgeous.
Jesus
Very
Christ.
pretty.
This is with the new, I think the new edition, with the new art.
Yeah, no, they're coming out with the deluxe edition soon. It's like wooden and stuff. I'm kind of like,
I'm good with this.
This is fine. But this, we got like 3/4 of the way through a game of this. We actually didn't get to finish it, but
it gets tricky because you're basically trying to build paths for people
through
to walk
a beautiful
along.
realm of trees. Yeah,
through an arboretum. And the rules to be able to have a path is it has to start and end with the same type of tree, and in between it can be different things. Yeah. And you're trying to build these like long paths, but there's this weird system which we actually didn't get to where you have to keep some stuff in your hands in order to score that species of tree. So if I want to score a jacaranda path, I need to make sure I have some. I can't put all my cards out.
Yeah.
With my jacarandas, because I'm not going to have anything in my hand, because you have to have the highest value of that type of species of tree
to be able
to score that path. And so it's just this like interesting thing, and you're building this grid, and it has to go in ascending order as well. And it's just like this really
one
interesting.
melted my brain pretty good.
Yeah,
and we didn't even finish
it. Gets tricky before. Yeah, it's like, oh, trees are pretty, and you're just like, oh, and you always have to play a card and discard a card, and the discard piles are available for anyone to pick up, including yourself in the future. So you're trying not to give like the other players what they need. Yeah. So there's like a lot to consider in this little game that's basically numbers and trees.
Yeah, it's a great little game. I'm excited to try it some more and finish a game of it. Yeah. But we got Arboretum, which is pretty cool.
Arboretum.
So this next one, I'm so happy about. We've been wanting this game. Well, it's not even a game. It's an upgrade pack. We got it's actually very heavy. The Roman Bones Season 1 Upgrade Kit. This, if you saw my What's on the Shelf, or I did a shelf down there on the floor, and it was, the only thing that was in there was Roman Bones and Blood Rage. I essentially went on a giant rant about Cool Mini not selling this at retail, which they're still not, by the way. I still don't like that.
Still mega douche move.
So, this is an upgrade kit to the first season of Rum and Bones. They did the second season, Second Tide, and they upgraded a bunch of rules and upgraded how a lot of things work. And it fixed presumably all the problems that were, because there were some, I really like Rum and Bones, but there are some definite problems with the system.
Just a smidge broken.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think it's broken. It just could be way better.
Yes. And
they made it way better. And they did this so you can essentially upgrade everything you already had for Rum and Bones with this.
Without having to buy the whole game again.
Yes, and exactly. And this was part of the Kickstarter, but you couldn't, Kickstarter for the second one, but you couldn't just buy this. That you had to buy the game, and then you could add on this.
Yeah, so you can get the Second Tide. I'm like, well, but if we got Second Tide, I'm not going to want to play the first season.
Well, yeah, because we just don't need that much content. Yeah. Like, so So it's one of the things they're like, oh, we're going to sell this at retail. And then they didn't. And as far as I know, they still have no interest or no plans to sell it at retail. So the only place you can really get it is either on eBay, where they're like 200 something bucks, or you can get it at a convention where Simon is. And we were at Simon's booth getting Railroad Ink, and we were just walking around, and it didn't even dawn on me that so we're
almost out of there.
Yeah, we were almost out of it. And all of a sudden I go, oh my gosh, maybe the upgrade kid's here. Oh my god, maybe it's
You're
here.
like, oh my god.
Here.
I'm like, what? And you start like running around with yourself. I'm like, what's
so
happening?
pumped. And then turn out they had like 10 of them, just all right there. And they're $25 if you get them for their price.
And we can play Rum and Bones again.
And it's essentially just got all new cards. Essentially just replaces everything in Rum and Bones. I'll do that later.
Really fixes up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to play this. We're going to play this one soon. But this was a big deal because I've been looking for this for a couple of years, I think. And they won't sell it. So we finally got it, though. So now Rum and Bones is complete.
Finally, again.
Okay, should we get into gifties?
We should get into gifties. People that we know, our good boy Jabs said, "Hey, you're good people. You attract good people. Simple as that. Simplest, most amazing thing someone's ever said." And a lot of people were very good to us all week.
Yeah, people were very kind
and said like, "Hey, while you're here, like, I want to gift you some stuff." And some of the things that we've shown have already were gifts. Not everyone wants to be publicly recognized, which I'm totally fine with. So we're not going to name names and stuff, but just know if you were someone who got us something, we're eternally grateful. And we hope to be able to return the favor in us being generally entertaining and any cool stuff we can do. We got to meet a butt ton of people at Gen Con.
It was wild.
For the first time, for the second time sometimes. It was awesome. But we got some really cool stuff. So we're going to get into a couple things that we got that are like super exciting, super excellent. Number one is, this is really cool. Because this right here is one of a kind.
Oh yeah, baby.
Pow! Happy Streamin'. This looks like a game that maybe you're familiar with out there called Happy Salmon. This is Happy Salmon, but it is Bro Murph specific.
Yeah, it is.
Because in Happy Salmon, you're trying to find someone that has the same card as you and do the action.
Get like fist bump or high five or run around the table or
sort of like woo thing or whatever. And so our good friend, I'm going to name this name, G Money.
Yeah.
Made Brothers Murph specific ones. So you have to like dab on it. So you have to find someone you got to dab and stuff. And you got to do our follow face and stuff. These are all things that we do on Twitch. So Happy Streamin'. Our follow faces and don't look under the table. And like maybe if you have a table that's conducive, like actually have to go under the table. You have to do our subscribe air guitaring. All these types of things. And like just super clever. And in this like creepy realistic fish, which is awesome, is Happy Streamin'. So like it's a gift and it's a game that's playable and it's custom, but it's also like totally DIY. It's amazing. Yeah. That's Happy Streamin'.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
We're going to stream us playing Happy Streamin' next time we have like a party of people.
Yeah, next time we have a deep group of people, we're going to do it. It's going to be great. Yeah, so we have that now, which is great.
So awesome.
G-Money, we're also going to name him for this. Everyone else we'll keep silent just in case they... If you want to, to be acknowledged, please put yourself in the comments and we'll shout you out. But yeah, just we know a lot of people like to be anonymous. But G-Money also... our grandparents love cribbage, and our grandfather was a fine woodworker, and he would make cribbage boards. It's one of his favorite things to make. He made lots of cribbage boards. We have a few in the back. We've played on them. And G-Money's grandparents also taught him cribbage. And it was a big bonding moment between him and them. So G-Money made us this Brothers Murph cribbage board.
Yeah.
Like, with Brothers Murph on it, it's got all the pegs and stuff, and then inside... It's got freaking gold cards.
Man, money cards, man.
Money cards. Got sweet money pins to peg with. And then the three people who have helped out with our logo, they did our logo, our music, our intro, and our music for our intro was, you can see it here, it's G Money, young Doug, who's a wonderful young man. He's about 16, I believe, and he did our music for it. Man. Young Doug, and then Rye Fresh is the one who did our logo, and then G Money did all the animation and stuff. So it's got G Money, Young Doug, and Rye Fresh on the inside. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And G Money and Rye Fresh and Young Doug and co. All picked us up to take us to our meetup and made the meetup really happen and stuff, along with Cheryl and various other people who I keep naming people.
Birdman, Jabs, Hermes. We're also naming their, for the most part, their Twitch names because that's mostly how we refer to them as.
But seriously, like everyone. It was just amazing. So yeah, G-Money showed up with this and Chowby shot. It was amazing. So a couple more things we got. We got an expansion, a couple expansions. We got Amber Mines from near and far,
which apparently makes this cooperative, and I am
super excited.
Muy excited.
Don't know if you can see that. It's signed by Ryan Lockett.
It is signed by Ryan Lockett.
Wonderful little fairy person. He just looks like he's from the woods.
He also looks like he's 20, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna look great when you're 80.
I know. He just has this youth about him that's so amazing, and it's reflected in his art. So yeah, apparently this makes it like cooperative or something.
Yeah, we don't know much about the expansion. We haven't played much near and far. We need to get through the campaign.
It's gonna be beautiful, as you know.
But hey, if it makes it a campaign cooperative, maybe we'll just start over and do the whole thing. That'd be lit! And then someone else got us the network's executives.
Cover thought!
What? What? Sorry. And then also got us like the upgraded bits for it, and then this thing, which is like more executives and stuff. So cool. We got Networks executives, so now we can play this. You know how much we love the networks. It is one of my favorite games.
And here, like, I'm really excited for this expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super pumped. We recently got Teletime, which is a little expansion for it. Now we got Network executives. It's a very, very kind gift. We didn't see Gil. We didn't see.
I saw him. Gil. He came by. Gil Hoba came by the booth.
Oh, you did?
For like,
oh man, we didn't see
18 seconds. And before I got to turn around, I was talking to someone before I got to turn around. I'm like, hey, Gil, good to see you. He was gone.
Oh, okay. He's a magic.
He was at Gen Con though.
He's a magic man, Gil Hoba, and he makes the networks. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for the person who gave us this. We're so freaking excited to play it. Yeah, and so that is, I believe, double check. That's all the games. That's the games.
Now, well, real quick, can I talk about?
Oh, this was a gift.
Can we talk about something real quick? Can we talk about this dope ass Dinosaur Tea Party promo?
Yeah,
that's not a real promo, but Restoration Games.
It's gonna be one, damn it.
Better make it. Missy made us into dinosaurs.
Yes,
and we're like the party. We're the brothers Murph. We're the party crashers.
Yeah, we are.
And it even has the traits on there. All these things. So like this could literally, if they made it, card size stuff could totally work with Dinosaur Tea Party.
Yeah, I think it was perfectly.
And we're the party crashers, the brothers Murph. It's amazing.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen or gotten in my entire life.
She made us a 3D. This game is broken. Our logo cake out of brownies.
Brownies, yeah. But it was like the dive in this game is broken. It's broken open. Stuff inside. This one was broken open. There's like stuff pouring out of it.
It was amazing and delicious.
And she made Restoration Games cookies with this Restoration Games R. She made cookies out of that were so good. Missy, I mean everyone. The stuff that we got.
She gave us reading material. She told me about this awesome comic called The Fix, which is about a drug sniffing beagle in L.A. A graphic novel, and then this is like a Nosferatu novel. Yeah. She gave us all these amazing.
Yes. And then Cheryl got us a bunch. Do you have your badge? Where's our badge?
I don't have my badge.
We had the badge. They have ribbons. We had Let Heart ribbons. We had Dab on It ribbons. We had Brothers Murph, Team Bing Bongs. We got a little book
thing for the Shoot the Moon. We got
people wrote nice things in there. We got kazoos with stickers on them. I mean, just in our Gen Con like wrap up video that we do, our review. We'll talk more about the Moonshot Night and probably
it was dope.
Yeah, so it was amazing.
I just wanted to show those things.
But we also we've been good friends with BGG for a little bit now. We're building that relationship more. They're really wonderful people at BoardGameGeek.com. And we went over to their booth because we just wanted to talk to them and meet them. And Rodney Smith was there and our friend Stephanie was there. We just wanted to go talk to them and stuff. So we went over there and we were chatting up Aldi and Lincoln and stuff like that. And Aldi goes like, do you guys have the bit tray stuff? And we were like, no. He's like, do you guys have this? Do you guys have... He started naming all this stuff and he just started giving us stuff. And so we got all these cool bit trays where you can put little... Yeah, they have little buttons on them.
They have little buttons, but they can just like pull down flat. So if you needed to store them easily, they become flat again. Super rad.
So we got big ones. We got this isn't even all of them. These are all the ones I made. We have more, but I'm just like I don't think we need more than this.
Yeah, so you can hold.
So we got all these cool things.
Hold our bits.
We also got
the bit bowl.
Absurd amount of card holders. They have these little
card holders / bit holders.
Individual bit holders. We got every color of the rainbow. So we'll match this with whatever game we're playing.
Yeah, let's make it match.
You know, we got every color. And then Aldi knows how much we love seasons, so he gave us the seasons upgrades. Have you felt these?
No.
Oh, dude, they're
Upgraded
freaking
plastic
fire.
tokens for
Upgraded
all of the...
plastic tokens for seasons.
We do have 2 bags of this.
We do. I thought we did. One was stuck in another bag.
We were going to give one of these to Matthew
Give me
G.
your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're so satisfying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at the chunk factor on these.
Chunk factor. So those were great, and then
That's very satisfying.
You know how much we've been loving Orleans, and they gave us the Orleans upgrades. The little followers and I upgraded these ones, and these ones are the same material as those, and are just like chunk, dude. And so we got Orleans. He has 2 bags of them.
He's like, some of them might be off center, so he can like make one good set. And I'm like,
Aldi,
we'll
you're
do a
the
giveaway.
nicest human on the planet. And then he's like, did you guys get this goodie box? And we're like, no, we didn't, Aldi.
it's got some stuff in it.
So it's got promos for Great Western Trail, Feast for Odin, First Class, Ice Cool. We only have a couple of those games, but super pumped. So yes, that was just like some random stuff that we got. Someone randomly handed us these 2 mini painting like holders.
Yeah.
Which are actually really nice because I just kind of like
They
I
can hold
sticky
the
tack
thing.
mine to the top of old paint pods.
Yeah.
These are actually gonna be super nice, especially if I'm painting like one model. These are cool. Someone just randomly handed us these.
Yeah.
And that I think is it, isn't it?
That's, I mean, so many things.
And then all the love and handshakes we got from people who
Yeah.
said hi and stuff. It was amazing.
Well, I mean, that's a really thing that comes down to, and again, we'll talk more about this in our Gen Con wrap up. But like, people were really cool at Gen Con.
Yeah.
The vibe was awesome. I was a little worried that it might not be so cool, and I think a couple years ago it maybe wasn't quite so cool. And then the convention themselves said like, "Hey, if you're being a dick, like, it ain't gonna work out for you, man. Be cool with each other. You know, remember why you're here. It's to celebrate board games. Like, you get very into the buy stuff vibe, but like, you know, hey." Be a good person, you know, and like the vibe, everyone was super nice. Everyone we talked to was great.
Yeah.
You know, again, like the folks at BGG were just handing us all sorts of stuff just to be really nice and saying like, hey man, we got to stick together, especially on Twitch and whatnot. Just like to be cool. Like they had no need to do that.
Yeah.
Got to talk to Rodney, who was super nice, and like thank Nick for like talking to him because Rodney popped into the chat in one of his art streams. He was just like, hey, thanks man, thanks for talking to me. And we're just like,
I'm like, Rodney, you're way more famous.
thank
than
you,
us.
Rodney, for coming into our stream and making it way more legitimate. Like the thing should be the other way around. He's just a super nice guy, you know.
Yeah, but it was wonderful.
fun,
it was just wonderful. Check out our Twitch schedule because we'll probably be playing a bunch of these games on Twitch in the next couple weeks because we want to get them played and stuff. So thank you so much. Please down in the comments, let us know if you were at Gen Con, what you picked up. If you're not, we weren't at Gen Con, what's the latest game that you got that you're very excited about? Let us know down in the comments.
Gen Con release or otherwise. What are you excited to play? What you've been playing? Let us know, and we'll maybe try to think about picking up other stuff as well. I just want to buy stuff now. I'm still in it right now.
With it. But thank you so much for joining us. That was great. Please remember to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
We're the Brothers Murph,
I
and that was our
know who I am.
Gen Con haul.
People don't know who we are individually anyway, so it works out.
Yeah, multiple times people are like, which one is which? I'm like, I'm Nick, he's Mike. Like, oh, I just always think you is one thing. We're like,
I'm Nike.
That's Brandon, baby. If you click the subscribe button or any other videos right here, I will take cards from Baseball Highlights 24 and make them rain. Wait for it. It's happening. Oh! We're also sponsored by Restoration Games. Check out all the videos. Let that rain!